Being rejected is unpleasant and can be painful, but it's just something that we all experience in life. There is no way that we can completely avoid it, but we most definitely can learn how to cope and accept it. So in this video, I'll present you 7 tips on how you should be coping with rejection. Rejection is something that we need to face regularly. When we fail a test, for example, or when our friend ditches us, we get dumped by our partner, or when we finally have the courage to ask our crush out on a date, but then get told that we should just stay friends. But also when our ideas at work get discarded or we get picked last on a team, are all examples of rejection, and shows that it affects every aspect of our life. I can tell you with certainty that no one likes to be rejected, and most of us will regard it as something unpleasant. But why is it so difficult to cope with it? Well, this has many reasons, and one of them being that we all look for recognition and approval from others, as we all need the feeling to be part of a social group. Many of us even link their feeling of self-worth to the appreciation and recognition we receive from others, and if we then get rejected, it is perceived as an attack on our self-worth, which results in us disliking ourselves because we see us as less worthy or inferior beings. And last, but definitely not least, rejection is just plain hurtful. Neuroscientists have found out that being rejected will activate the brain in the exact same way as physical pain would. So the pain center of your brain will be stimulated when you fall from your bike, for example, or if you're being rejected. They both will trigger the exact same pain. Also, this kind of behavior is imprinted into our brains. If you look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, you can say that back in the days, a person who was a member of a group had a larger chance of survival than a loner. Which means that people who were well adjusted to the group's dynamics and who felt a sense of belonging were the ones who would survive. And our brain did not unlearn this correlation until today. Just like with physical pain, rejection will affect everyone differently. Some people will feel crushed by it, while others facing the same situation easily brush it off and continue their lives without thinking about it again. So what is the best way to deal with rejection? Number 1. It's not personal. As I said before, rejection is something completely normal, and we all experience it in our lives. It is in no way evidence for your inferiority or for you being a bad person. It just shows that the other person has declined something that does not fit to their needs at this moment. Number 2. Find alternative explanations. Let's say you have written your first book, and now can't wait to get it out there. But then your publisher dismisses your book quickly. This does not have to mean that you are a bad author and that your book is horrible. It can just mean that perhaps the publisher is not in the market for books like yours. Or maybe the publisher is too small and can't handle another book at the moment. Always go over many different explanations in your head, and don't always conclude that it's something personal and that something must be wrong with you. Number 3. Be realistic. From time to time, others will attack us personally and claim that we are stupid, ugly, or whatsoever. But here you always need to remind yourself that this is just the opinion of one person and does not reflect who you are at all. It is absolutely impossible to be liked by everyone. And what to do if you have experienced a series of rejections. Being rejected hurts, but it can be a lot more crushing when this happens to you a lot in a short time span. These next tips are for exactly those times. So number 4. Ask why. Let's say you have applied for a job at 10 different companies and all of them rejected your application. Instead of letting this get to your head, don't shy away to ask why you weren't accepted. Learn from this feedback and do it better next time. Number 5. Self-reflect. Going back to the book publishing example. Let's say you then sent your book to 20 different publishing houses, but none of them wanted to take on your project. Then it's perhaps time to look into your work again and think what you could improve. But always remember that this should in no way influence your self-worth. This just means that your project needs a little bit more work. And if you put in time, you will reach your goal. Having this kind of mindset puts you ahead of most of the other people. Number 6. Think positive. Rejection, especially a series of them, can be extremely crushing and demotivating. This is the time where it's crucial for you to look at the positive things going on for you. Think about your amazing family or the awesome friends you already have. Think about the past accomplishments and about all the things you have learned up until now. If you don't get too caught up with the current rejection, your mind will be more at balance and in a better state to deal with something and get it done the next time. Hopefully this video showed you that rejection is something normal and it's something that you will not be able to avoid forever, but we can learn how to handle it adequately and grow from our experiences.